floor, as I did with those that I talked to the other day, that there are 3 additional schools that also have a statewide mission that did get included in the list. So when we make decisions on the fly behind closed doors, the public is not well served, and it's not good policy as a product and a result of that. So the good thing that has come out of this is we're having a serious discussion, I believe, now about equity and funding, and Missouri State University is near the bottom of the list when you look at the per pupil funding. Now that is just one component that we need to look at, and to the credit of the Senate, I think cooler heads prevailed. We were able to adopt an amendment that actually will set up a formula or instruct the Joint Committee on Education to come up with a formula for higher education. And my reason for getting up today and just going through it again is I want the assurances that all of the schools will be included in that and will be at the table and represented on that committee, because it's a committee of legislators. And so I think that it was productive. I think we'll be farther ahead in the long run than had this not happened. And the reality is that the checks that we're talking about probably won't get written anyway that come out of this deal. That's my guess. But it was good for us to have this discussion. I don't necessarily like the way it was done, but the reality is we have a constitutional obligation to get a budget completed by a deadline tomorrow, and I wanted to handle it in an adult and professional way and get the Senate moving and avoid any further meltdown.
The way that things worked out, the 7 institutions that were included got $3 million each. Is that the way it worked out?
It was $3 million total, and it was spread not evenly, but it was spread across that list. Harris Stowe was kind of the benchmark, and they got a 0 appropriation out of it because they have the highest funding per pupil. So basically the ones after that, with the exclusion of Missouri State and the University of Missouri. But if we're going to have this discussion, and I think we will as a result of this, it needs to be a global discussion, including all universities. It needs to include not just the per pupil funding, but it also needs to include things like their mission, what they do, what programs they have, and other costs involved. So it was an opportunity for me to make the case that Missouri State does more with less, and they deliver an excellent product as far as I can tell.
And again, the reason you were given for Missouri State and the University of Missouri to not be included in the list of schools?
Yeah, the reason that we were told they were left off of the list was that they had a statewide mission and they wanted to focus on the regional schools. Well, just a search in the statutes online, any citizen can look and see that 3 other schools on the list, Truman State University, Missouri Southern State University, and Missouri Western, also have, according to statute, a statewide mission. So I wanted to bring that point up today so that we are getting all of the truth out, all of the story, and we're operating on all the facts.
It just kind of that just kind of baffles me. I don't know why. I still don't know why.
Well, I was given that as an answer. The reality is the reason that this is the way it is they wanted to get the Senate moving, and it's my hope that we don't have these meltdown situations in the future. And I did not want to stand in the way of meeting our obligations under the Constitution of passing a budget. It's the only thing we're required to do up here. And but at the same time, I'm going to do everything I can to represent my district and the people that I'm here to serve.